Good morning, students. In today's class, we will read a new chapter from your English literature book. The name of the chapter is The Diamond Necklace. It's a short story written by Guy de Maupassant. Let's now read the first part of the story, but before that, let's go through a few word meanings. You can write these word meanings in your textbooks for your better understanding.
Guy de Maupassant, from 1850 to 1893, was one of the greatest French short story writers. His stories are usually built around simple episodes from everyday life which reveal the hidden sides of people. Many are set against the Franco-Prussian War of 1870s and carry the message of futility of war. His published works include nearly 300 short stories and 6 novels. Matilda is the charming wife of a clerk who dreams of a life of leisure and luxury. When she is invited to a grand ball, however, she feels miserable for she does not have a gown for the occasion. She manages to buy a new dress and borrows jewelry from her friend. However, fate seems to have other plans in store for her. Let's read the story. Matilda Loisel was one of those pretty charming young ladies, born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no money, no hopes, no means of becoming known and getting married to a rich man. She allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She suffered, for she felt she was born for all the fine, beautiful things of life. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, the worn chair, and the faded hangings. So, students, Madame Matilda Loisel was a really beautiful looking woman. She was born into a middle-class family of clerks, and with no hopes of getting rich or popular, she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk in the Board of Education. Why? Because her family could not afford the dowry. She lived in an apartment with her husband, and she was unhappy with what life had given her. She was unhappy with the apartment's shabby walls, worn out furniture, and faded hangings. She was suffering because she always thought that she was born for everything exquisite. She always dreamt of royal dinners being served in exquisite silver dishes. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, whom she did not like to visit because it hurt so much when she returned to her own poor apartment. She also hated visiting her friend as she was a rich lady, and Matilda envied her. Whenever she used to visit her friend, she felt sad and she used to cry after returning to her own poor apartment. One evening, her husband returned looking excited. In his hand was a large envelope. "Here is something for you," he said. She quickly drew out a printed card. "The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau request the honor of Monsieur and Madame Loisel's company. Monday evening, January 18, at the minister's residence." Instead of being delighted, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation on the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want with that?" "But, my dear, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out. This is a grand occasion." She looked at him with an irritated eye and said, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a formal party? He had not thought of that and stammered, "Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theatre, it seems pretty to me." So, students, one fine evening when her husband returned from work, he got an invitation to a grand party to the house of Minister of Public Instructions. But, contrary to his expectations, Matilda was irritated and angry. She threw the invitation card away. She was upset as she did not have anything appropriate to wear to such a formal party. And when her husband suggested her the dress that she used to wear when they went to theater, she got angrier and she started crying. He fell silent, upset at the sight of his wife weeping. "Let us see, Matilda, how much would a suitable dress cost?" "Something simple. I cannot tell exactly, but 400 francs ought to cover it," she said. "Very well, I will give you 400 francs." Her husband could not see her weeping, and he politely asked her how much a suitable dress would cost. She replied 400 francs would be enough, and he gave her the amount. She got the dress. The day of the ball approached, and Madame Loisel seemed sad and anxious. Her husband said to her, "What is the matter with you?" And she responded, "I am upset because I don't have a jewel to adorn myself with." So, students, as the day of the ball approached, she got sad again. Her husband now asked, "What's the matter, dear? Why are you sad? You've already bought yourself a pretty gown." To this she replied that she did not have jewelry to make herself look more appealing and attractive. Then her husband cried out, "How stupid are we? Go and ask your friend, Madame Forestier, to lend you her jewels." The next day she took herself to her friend's house and related her story of distress. Madame Forestier took out a large jewel case, opened it and said, "Choose, my dear." Among the jewels she saw a superb necklace set with diamonds. She asked in a hesitating voice, "Could you lend me this?" "Why, yes, certainly." So, students, her husband then suggested her that she should borrow jewelry from her friend Madame Forestier, to which she agreed and went to her friend's house. She then described her situation to Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier took out a large jewel case from the cupboard and asked Matilda to choose. She picked up a superb necklace set with diamonds and asked her friend in a nervous tone if she could borrow that. To this, Madame Forestier immediately agreed, and she got the necklace to her home.
So, students, I hope you've all understood the story till here. We will continue the second part of the story in our next class. Till then, take care, stay home, stay safe.